He smirked at her in front of everyone. "Dance for us," the millionaire sneered, waving a stack of bills. The room froze. The waitress stood still, humiliated, until she stepped forward and stole the spotlight seconds later. The crowd was silent, watching the arrogant man rise from his velvet chair. His suit shimmered under the ballroom lights, his glass of champagne raised high as if the entire room belonged to him. And maybe in his mind it did. He locked his gaze on the young waitress carrying a tray of drinks. With a sharp grin, he said words that made the entire hall stiffen. "Why don't you show us a dance? Prove you're worth more than those empty glasses." Laughter trickled through the tables, though many looked away, ashamed to be present. She stood frozen, the tray trembling in her hands. To them she was invisible, just a servant. To him she was a target for his game. But beneath her quiet eyes was a story no one in that room knew. Her name was Claire. Once she had worn a uniform not of cotton, but of honor. She had served in the military, carrying not trays but the weight of her country. She had returned home with scars, some on her skin, some buried deeper, silent and heavy. She remembered sandstorms whipping her face, the deafening roar of engines overhead, and the silence of comrades who never came back. She remembered promises whispered under stars, the kind you keep even when the world moves on without you. When she came back, she didn't seek pity. She sought peace, and so she worked quietly, moving between tables, smiling gently, never speaking of what she had endured. But tonight, in this golden room filled with polished shoes and empty laughter, a stranger's arrogance dragged her past into the light. The millionaire leaned back, smug and certain. His friends chuckled, clinking glasses as though respect could be bought and sold. Bystanders lowered their eyes, unwilling to intervene. It was injustice at its rawest form, wealth mocking humility, pride mocking service. Claire set down her tray with steady hands. She didn't speak. She didn't need to. Her silence carried more weight than his taunts. The crowd leaned in, breath caught in their throats. The man tapped the table impatiently. "What's the matter? Afraid you'll embarrass yourself?" He had no idea who he was speaking to. For a moment Claire simply looked at him, and her gaze was enough to hush even the whispers. She stepped into the open space at the center of the floor, the chandeliers casting a halo of light above her. Her movements were deliberate, calm, almost fragile. But then, she began to move. The dance, it was not the clumsy shuffle he expected. It was grace carved from discipline, strength hidden behind humility. Every turn, every step carried memories of rhythm learned in rare moments of relief overseas, where music was a balm for broken souls. The crowd gasped. This was no performance. It was a story told through movement. A story of loss, of loyalty, of standing tall when the world tried to break you. The laughter that had filled the hall moments earlier melted into silence. All eyes were fixed on her. The arrogant smile on his face faltered, replaced with disbelief. Claire spun one final time, her arms outstretched not in showmanship but in silent defiance. The room erupted, not with laughter but with thunderous applause. The millionaire sat frozen, his glass untouched. Around him people stood, clapping, cheering, not for him, but for her. His attempt at mockery had become her moment of triumph. And then, as the clapping softened, someone's voice broke through. "Respect is not given by money. It is earned by sacrifice." The words hung in the air, a truth undeniable. The man lowered his head, his arrogance stripped away. Claire simply bowed, her eyes calm. She spoke no words. She didn't need to. Her silence screamed louder than his wealth ever could. True strength doesn't shout. It stands silent and unshakable. Respect is not a gift from the powerful. It is owed to the ones who gave everything. Dignity is not bought. It is lived. The entire hall rose to its feet. Waiters dropped their trays to clap alongside the guests. Strangers who had been silent now cheered, some with tears in their eyes. For a moment, the golden room no longer belonged to the millionaire. It belonged to her. Claire walked back to her tray. She picked it up, as if nothing had happened, and continued her work. Her silence remained her shield, her dignity intact. But the crowd would never forget what they had seen, and neither would he. Respect is not about titles, money, or status. It is about the unseen battles people fight, the sacrifices they carry silently, and the dignity that cannot be mocked. Some heroes wear uniforms only for a time, but the honor they carry stays forever. If this story moved you, tell us in the comments where you're watching from, and share your thoughts on what dignity means to you. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories that honor silent strength and unshakable courage. Because sometimes the quietest voice tells the loudest story.